The .22 caliber cartridge is everywhere. It's the first round most shooters ever fire. It's the cheapest ammo on the shelf. It's considered quiet, light, harmless, almost beginner level. And that's exactly why most people misunderstand it. Because behind that small rimfire case is a cartridge with some of the most unique ballistic behaviors in the firearms world. It behaves differently than centerfire rounds. It reacts differently to barrel length. It performs differently depending on bullet design. And in some ways, it's more complex than cartridges many times its size. Today, we're breaking down 10 truths about .22 ammunition that most shooters never fully understand, even after years of use. If you value serious, evidence-based firearm analysis and want to understand how ammunition really works beyond the label on the box, consider subscribing. Let's start with the first shock. 1. .22 LR is incredibly velocity sensitive. Most centerfire cartridges maintain consistent performance across modest barrel length differences. The .22 long rifle does not. A 40-grain high-velocity .22 LR round rated at 1,250 feet per second from a 20-inch rifle barrel may drop below 1,100 feet per second from a shorter barrel. That change is significant because .22 LR operates in a narrow energy window. Small velocity changes dramatically alter expansion behavior, penetration depth, and even point of impact. This sensitivity makes barrel length one of the most important variables in .22 performance, far more than most shooters realize. 2. Subsonic .22 is often more accurate than high velocity. Many shooters assume faster equals better, but .22 bullets that cross from supersonic to subsonic speeds during flight can experience instability. This transition zone can slightly disturb trajectory consistency. Subsonic .22 ammunition avoids that transition entirely. It remains below the speed of sound from muzzle to target, often producing more consistent groups at certain distances. This is one reason precision rimfire shooters frequently favor subsonic loads over hypervelocity offerings. 3. Not all hollow points actually expand. The word hollow point creates expectations, but expansion in .22 LR depends heavily on impact velocity and bullet construction. At lower velocities, especially from short barrels, many hollow points fail to expand at all. In some cases, they behave almost identically to solid lead round nose bullets. In other cases, they expand too rapidly and limit penetration. Expansion reliability in rimfire ammunition is far less predictable than in centerfire cartridges. 4. .22 LR is extremely dependent on bullet design. Unlike high-powered rifle cartridges that carry excess energy, the .22 LR has no margin for inefficiency. Bullet weight, nose profile, plating thickness, and lead hardness significantly affect performance. A flat-nose bullet may transfer energy more effectively than a round-nose design. A lightly plated bullet may deform differently than a solid lead one. Two .22 loads with nearly identical velocity ratings can behave completely differently on impact. In rimfire cartridges, bullet design matters more than raw speed. 5. Wind effects. .22. More than most people expect. At 100 yards, even a mild 5 to 10 mph crosswind can push a .22 LR bullet several inches off target. At 150 yards, drift becomes even more pronounced due to low mass and moderate velocity. Compared to centerfire rounds, .22 bullets spend more time in flight, which increases wind exposure. This is why long-range rimfire competitions are considered extremely challenging. Wind reading becomes critical far sooner than most shooters anticipate. 6. Rimfire priming is less reliable than centerfire. Unlike centerfire cartridges, which use a centrally located primer, .22 LR uses rimfire priming compound distributed inside the rim. That means ignition depends on consistent distribution of priming compound. Manufacturing inconsistencies or storage issues can increase the likelihood of misfires. While modern rimfire ammunition is generally reliable, it will never match the ignition consistency of quality centerfire cartridges. This is a design limitation, not a defect. 7. .22 LR can travel farther than many realize. Because of its relatively light bullet and moderate velocity, many assume .22 LR has limited range. In reality, a .22 LR bullet fired at an upward angle can travel well over a mile under certain conditions. While it loses energy quickly, it can remain airborne far longer than people expect. This is why safe backstops and proper range discipline are critical, even with small calibers. The cartridge may be small, but physics still applies. 8. Barrel fouling changes. 22. Accuracy. Unlike jacketed centerfire bullets, most .22 LR projectiles are unjacketed lead or lightly plated. This means barrels accumulate lead fouling more quickly. Interestingly, many rimfire rifles shoot best with a slightly fouled barrel rather than a perfectly clean one. Cleaning too aggressively can temporarily degrade accuracy until the barrel becomes reconditioned by a few rounds. This behavior surprises shooters accustomed to centerfire maintenance habits. 9. Hypervelocity. Loads don't always deliver better performance. Hypervelocity. .22 ammunition can exceed 1,400 feet per second in some configurations. That sounds impressive. However, these loads often use lighter bullets, which can reduce penetration and increase wind drift compared to heavier standard loads. Additionally, increased velocity may reduce accuracy in certain rifles due to harmonics and stability issues. Faster does not automatically mean more effective. 10. .22 LR is more versatile than almost any other cartridge. Despite its limitations, the .22 long rifle remains one of the most versatile cartridges ever produced. It is used for target practice, small game hunting, pest control, training, competition, and even precision rimfire matches, extending beyond 200 yards. Few cartridges operate across that many applications while remaining affordable and widely available. Its simplicity hides its complexity, and its modest power hides its technical nuance. The smallest round with the biggest misconceptions. The .22 long rifle is often dismissed as simple, beginner-friendly, or even insignificant. It's treated as a stepping stone, something you outgrow once you move into centerfire rifles and larger calibers. But that perception misses the reality entirely. The .22 LR is not simple, it is sensitive, it is precise, and in many ways it demands more understanding than cartridges that carry 3 or 4 times its energy. Because when you operate within a narrow energy window, every variable matters. Velocity matters, bullet construction matters, barrel length matters, wind matters, even storage conditions matter. There is no excess power to compensate for poor design or bad judgment. The .22 rewards